Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dana, and I'm going to talk about a country in Eastern Europe. Dracula, Communist, Ceausescu, Haji. This is a list of the famous people from this country, whether they are positively known or negatively known. Can you guess where that country is?
Romania?
Right. It's Romania. Today, I will tell you three things about Romania. First, facts and figures of Romania. Second, good and bad memories I had when I lived there. And third, the precautions when visiting Romania. So, let's get started by looking at the map of Europe here. Does anyone know the location of Romania, where it is? Romania is located in the Eastern Europe. It is where the Western world ends and the Slavic East begins. And it's a land border. Here's Moldavia. This is Romania here. Moldova, Ukraine, Hungary, Yugoslavia, and Bulgaria. The capital is Bucharest, which is right here, which lies far south of the country on the plains of Wallachia, set between the Danube River to the south and the mountainous regions of Transylvania to the north. And one thing is the Dracula Castle is somewhere here in this Transylvania region. Romania covers an area of 37,500 square kilometers. And it is in the European time zone, so there is 7-hour difference between Romania and Korea. So if it is noon in Bucharest, it's 7 o'clock p.m. in Korea. The population is about 20 million according to the year 2002 statistics. The weather is very hot and dry in summer. It's not very humid like Korea. It is freezing cold in the winter. The wealth is locked into the hands of tiny numbers of people. So it is a very poor country. So the monthly salary of a professor is about $250. Now you know about Romania. I will tell you the good and bad memories I had when I lived there. And the good memory is that I visited a city called Brasov by myself. I didn't make any hotel reservation when I visited there because I wanted to know more about the Romanian traditional family. So I just went up to this woman and asked her if I could stay at her house. And she was very kind and nice. She allowed me to stay there, to stay overnight, and she even treated me with the Romanian traditional dishes. And the next day when I left the house, she even gave me a present, and she didn't ask for any money, and that was very kind of them. It's like the Cheong culture in Korea. But the bad memory is that every time you go outside, you walk on the road, on the street, the Romanians, like little kids, will tease you, Kina, meaning China. You know, they're not very open to Asians and also foreigners. So one day I went to the park with my sister to practice inline skates, and we were just beginners. We were moving really slow, and this Romanian guy riding a bicycle, he just went by and passed by and spat me on the hips, saying like, "Black yellow people." Yeah, that's what I experienced living in Romania. So, as you can see from my experiences, Romanians are very nice and polite to foreigners, but also they are very closed and they are very, very hostile to foreigners. So, therefore, you need to be aware of some things when you visit Romania. So now I'm going to tell you about the precautions when visiting Romania. First, never share a cab with a stranger, because that stranger might be the partners with the taxi driver to mug you. And second, when a person comes over to you and asks for your passport and money, just pass by. Even if he tells you that he's a police officer, he's not a police officer. And third, always put your bag in front of you when riding a public transportation, because they're not going to snatch it out from your hand. They're going to just cut it expertly with a razor, and your bag will be emptied afterwards. And be careful when you're using a cell phone on the street, because they're just going to snatch it from your hand. And last thing you need to be aware of is that when you have to exchange money, never exchange it from a black market dealer, even if he proposes you to give more than the rate in the bank or the exchange office, because after he's left, you'll be left with a bunch of newspaper pieces. So those are the things that you need to be aware of. So although I mentioned some negative points about Romania, the country's cities are safer than other cities in Europe, and there is almost no violent crime. Also, Romania gives the opportunity to see wonderful places and to meet wonderful people and to experience the last frontier land of Europe. So there's a saying, tell me and I'll forget, show me and I may not remember, involve me and I'll understand. I've told you many things about Romania, but I know that you're going to forget about it. So I think if you want to know more about Romania, you should visit Romania. Thank you.